Okay, so we are here to discuss how AI future looks like in a current job segment and job market right now. So let's start.
with our
हाँ,
starting days of our job, पहले दिन क्या था and आज क्या है,
हाँ,
so वहाँ से सब कुछ शुरू करते
हाँ,
हैं.
how your process and my process evolved throughout the journey of us, right? So how was your first day, to be honest?
To be honest, my first day is like कि I have given some data
Hmm.
and I have asked to make some features for data modeling in Spark.
So you were given an opportunity to understand the
The
data
data
first and then create a.
feature of that,
Okay, so it's towards the data modeling, right?
right?
Right.
Towards we can say more into the backend part.
Okay.
एंड देन थोड़ा सा कुछ हिला
Hmm.
बैकएंड में और फिर पूरा डेटा ही गलत आ रहा है, तो फिर मुझे बोला गया कि एक्सेल यूज करो वैलिडेट करने के लिए.
Okay.
तो देन आई स्टार्ट यूजिंग एक्सेल, वी लुकअप एंड ऑल, गूगल से देख के फॉर्मूले देखना एंड वैलिडेट करना सारे डेटा को. सो इट्स गोना बी अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट टास्क फॉर मी. और इतना प्रेशर भी था कि बैकएंड में एक गलती हो गई है.
Oh, sure. So it used to happen to me as well. So, but my story is a bit different. I started with the front end development itself. So I used to use Excel a lot, right,
Oh.
from the starting beginning, and then eventually picked up the Power BI and dashboard development, right? So पहले तो Excel में अगर यार VLOOKUP करने में इतना डर references और he used to like never give me the right answer the first time itself. But eventually XLOOKUP picked up it and made it really easy. And then understanding.
Then after sometimes I know कि we look up
Yeah, it's,
and पहले तो it sounds very magical कि how is my manager is doing this
yeah,
उस data frame से मिला के सारी values यहाँ पे आ गई,
yeah,
कैसे हुआ, it's like a magic.
yeah,
And then धीरे 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 करके फिर समझ में आया it's
yeah,
very easy.
yeah, it's very easy. So eventually we try to understand ki how our journey and how our process and experience evolve over the period of time. Most probably it does for most of you guys as well, right? I started with the front end development and you started with the back end. So
Yeah,
uh, how evolutionary and how your role itself evolved over the
my
period of time?
my role is to understand the client problem,
Hmm.
and one of my colleague knows Tableau,
Hmm.
so to make dashboard using his skills. So my basic job is to satisfy the client requirement by making the dashboards.
Okay, so you started reporting on the raw data itself rather than
Yeah,
creating a visual layer on top,
yeah.
right? So it's
Understanding the basic business problem and to find the right solution using the dashboards.
yeah. So you are nonetheless reporting your raw data into a productionable
Right,
data
right.
itself. Okay, mine was more towards production, visualizing the production data to derive some sort of insight. I didn't know the starting of the beginning itself. Most of you don't. That what kind of insight we are deriving for.
Yeah,
Okay, mostly we don't know. Yeah,
because it's very vague thing.
yeah,
Okay, it's very vague.
yeah,
It's there is no path कि हाँ भाई ये follow कर लो और inside निकल
yeah.
जाएगी. You
I
have to explore the data. You have to hit and trial it. Okay, ये insight समझ में आ रही है, ये important है कि नहीं है,
huh,
ये business को बताऊं नहीं बताऊं, फिर business बोलता है नहीं नहीं ये क्या insight है,
yeah,
और
yeah,
KPIs change these things and all. Very difficult
yeah.
task.
To be honest, if you start your journey
Yeah,
itself, even you understand the data, you don't know the functional side of things, right?
exactly.
So the business person has been working for like 10 to 15 years. They are expecting some sort of insight out of it, which they already had. We didn't have that. We had just the data and we are representing, okay, this is the total sales.
Hmm.
But what is the context of this total sales?
Where is that sale? What's the reason? What's the time period? There are so much things
Yeah, we don't know
we
about it.
don't
And
know.
in order to know this, we need to get to them in their heads, which is impossible to be honest. And when this data is involved, it becomes much more challenging. Okay, so you learned Tableau, I learned Power BI. What do you think Power BI is Tableau is a bit different than Power BI?
So Tableau, it's very easy to make the dashboards in Tableau. In 1 hour, you can make the best dashboards. But in Power BI, I think it's pretty time consuming. You have to match the pixel and pixel. You have to use the DAX. I have to agree, DAX are much powerful than the Tableau calculated fields. The Tableau drag, but the Tableau's drag and drop is very fast. It's very easy to
Yeah,
make the dashboards.
yeah.
So both tools have their own pros and cons. But yeah, I go with the Tableau because it's very
my,
easy.
yeah, my take on this bit different, to be honest. I worked in the data for a while and worked with Power BI predominantly, one or two projects on the Tableau side of things. But the only thing I have, Power BI have a plus is the first is the price point. Okay, for Tableau you need a $70
Yeah,
license for a developer
it's
to
a bit
have.
expensive. I
Yeah,
agree.
and for like $20 for Power BI developer, and mostly desktop version is free, so anyone can develop it and eventually you can
Mm,
publish it.
Tableau desktop version is also free, but to make those dashboards live, we need a
Yeah,
license.
yeah. So anyone in your team can do the development, and eventually one person having the license and
Yeah,
can publish it, and eventually the client side having a license in the
exactly.
365. And the second reason is that Power BI is so entrenched into the Microsoft 365 ecosystem.
Yeah,
You,
ecosystem is
yeah, you can't
it's
deny
the
it. We
plus
have
point.
we are having a lot of Apple side of things.
Yeah.
If you think from the corporate lens, is the Mac equivalent of a dashboard and or analytics per
No,
se.
no.
I believe
Windows
this.
has their own advantage of PowerPoint, Excels, and all.
Oh yeah, so that's why I'm saying, no, everything is combined together, works in a coherent manner. So I think there's a plus side to it, right? So when now really this is the kind of sort of things we used to do at the starting of the job. Might be the domain could be different. You started with the back, I started with the
Yeah,
front, but eventually we merge our role in a sense that eventually I have to learn the back end and build a model around it and the integrate with the front end. And your experience might be you started
made
with
the
the
back end part first and then come to the front
front
end.
end. Eventually you have to think from the client perspective side of
Yeah,
like how you model your data.
what client wants and what their requirement, how to satisfy them.
Yeah.
That's the
So
main
yeah,
biggest
but
problem in consulting services.
yeah.
So, Khushwan, tell me one thing. Now there is AI in the tools, but after some times, AI can overpower these tools, and eventually these jobs can be, we don't require these developers jobs, Power BI developers job. Then how you see in the near future what's the danger of these jobs?
Okay, to be honest, there's an eventual reality is that the tools AI is taking over the tool itself, and eventually the tool AI will overpower the tool itself, right? So the job itself will evolve for sure, certain. As a uh, it's an eventual moment for these kind of roles that they have to evolve into something else, or they need to be laid off, right? So let's explore the current realities now. Like, for example, now Microsoft as a service evolved towards AI integrated native workflows, right? They changed they recently launched Power BI desktop files where you can make the edits into a JSON file format,
Hmm.
where you don't need a front end kind of person to make the changes. You can do open that file into VS Code and make the changes,
Oh.
which can be
And
done.
VS Code is totally connected to your Cloud Code, and we can,
Anything VS
yeah.
Code, yeah. So GitHub Copilot and anything. So development in a cycle will change. The development cycle will change, and AI will take over of it for sure, right? So and there is
S- So, for our analysts, which is necessary for them to understand and to learn things other than the Tableau developing things?
okay, right.
How they can secure their job?
Yeah, so this is the key debate around these kind of jobs, is that the evolution will be happening sooner or later, right? So
Everyone is saying that your job in danger, but what's the solution? How can we save our job?
yeah, job is not in danger, to be honest. The nature of job is in danger, right? It will evolve, if you like it or not, right? You can't stick to a particular tool, but eventually the goal of the tool you have to understand what the tool is trying, right? It's trying to create the story and presenting to an end user that they take an action on top of it. Now the tool itself will evolve. AI will take it over. AI will tell you that these are your KPIs. You need to
Yeah,
take an action on a
yeah,
daily basis. You don't have to look at the tool itself.
yeah.
You will get targeted message or insight delivered to your inbox right away on the daily itself, that your sales is declined by 5% on a this day. You should take this action. On the ground reality, a person who's sitting in the office need to take those action. Eventually the role
Exactly.
will evolve, right? So you need to create some sort of data understanding and business understanding and
This
functional.
is the main thing, data understanding.
Yeah. So सिर्फ डैशबोर्ड बनाने वालों की जॉब खतरे में है, जो वीकली डैशबोर्ड बनाते हैं, रिफ्रेश करते हैं. द पर्सन हु इज कंज्यूमिंग द डैशबोर्ड एंड मेकिंग अंडरस्टैंडिंग अ डैशबोर्ड still will be relevant in near future as well, right? In the long term as well.
Because we need human in the loop, whatever AI is there.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's ask. We've been a freshers not so long ago. So what's your advice? And there will be my advice as well. What's your advice
What about what?
about for future? What's your advice for the future generation who's coming and picking up the workforce?
My advice is to understand the main business problem and understand the main solution what you want to give them. Understand their data, understand the key problems, not go much into learning the tools, learning these things. The main basic thing is to understand the main business problem.
Yeah, and in between any changes Claude or any bot does it, you have to understand what changes they have done
Yeah.
at the same time. So I think the core functionality of the things will be, for example, SQL, be it Excel, they will be remain, but there will be human in the loop. So you need to understand the basics eventually, right?
Yeah. Basics are the fundamentals are the key thing.
And
Whatever we are learning, fundamentals are the basics.
and do you think there's a course-driven approach which is taken over by like learning tools and all, which will still remain intact or need to be evolved?
It needs to be involved.
Right. Okay. I had the same similar view. So, uh, what's your conclusion for this conversation, though?
So my conclusion is data behavior से शुरू करो, data की understanding लो, visualization बाद में आएगा.
Hmm.
First, data is everything. To understand the data, don't give it to some AI कि मुझे ये data explain करो.
Hmm.
डेटा खुद से अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेने की ट्राई करो and then understand the main business problem, what business want, what's our main key problem, and how or whatever approach we are using, is it really solving that problem or not, and
Yeah.
how much it is solving. Let's say efficiency पहले 10% थी और हमने कुछ AI टूल कर लिया, efficiency 5% ही आ रही है. हमें efficiency increase करनी है और key focus is mainly on increasing the efficiency,
Hmm.
solving the main business problem.
Yeah. So रास्ता अलग हो सकता है, but curiosity एक ही
एक
होनी
होनी चाहिए,
चाहिए.
right,
To be
exactly.
honest, right? So अगर एक वर्ड में बोले तो freshers को क्या सीखना चाहिए? What do you think?
Data.
I think it will be AI.
AI, yeah. AI, yeah.